Check, check. Alright. Wow. I think we're good to go. So yeah. But hi everybody, welcome on. My name is Tiffany. I'm the owner of Tiffany Cosplay LLC, which is a company that focuses on costume and prop fabrication as well as education. If you are on Instagram or TikTok, I'm actually live streaming on youtube.com/Tiffany Cosplay, and that is where I will be reading chat and answering questions. So if you want to say something, go over to YouTube.
Write it down, write it down!
It is free, and I appreciate all the support over there. If you are new on YouTube, I would appreciate you to subscribe to the channel. It is the free follow version on YouTube. So yeah. Yeah, thank you. And Adam, thank you for the remember of 25 months. I appreciate the support. My friend,
I will write it down!
I got a new little Boki because all of mine have run out. So I can write things down again.
Write it down, write it down!
Ria, thank you also for the remember of 24 months. I appreciate the support. I want to write it down too. Remember, and then I always forget if it's with an I or an IE or Y. Okay, I got them. Thank you, thank you. And for the members, I did update the icon for your member, whatever level. So I think after 2 years it's a different thing, and then I have one that goes, I think 3 years now or something, because we have some people that's been around for a long time, so I appreciate the support. But yeah, and welcome on everybody. Hi Dave, Adam, Ria, Ruru, Tyre, and anybody else that's watching the thing or on Instagram or YouTube. So yeah, I've been pretty busy. You've probably seen the background. There's a new head for the collection. Bethesda and Fallout 76 commissioned me to make it. It was a fast build. It was a 4-day build. 1 day of me patterning it, which I could not do a sample pattern. So I'm happy with what it is, but cool. Normally for doing my heads, I always do a sample of them first, like a little small version. Welcome to the community. And then I'll kind of make that work, and so I kind of had to roll with whatever I make here. So yeah, but 1 day of patterning, 1 day of basically cutting everything out and assembling it, so gluing it all together. And I had to do all my gluing in the basement because it was still, I think, in the 30s outside, and glue has to be 65 degrees Fahrenheit to work, so I had to do all of my stuff in the Dexter room so I could vent things out. And then it was 1 day of Plasti Dip because you need to prime it and have a full day for it to dry, and then 1 day of painting. So yeah, it was a lot, but it's cool. I will get it out. It is definitely the biggest of the head collection. It's number 5 now. Number 5. So yeah. Yeah. So the little tail, it's all bent because it's been sitting on the table. But ideally, it's gotta hang on the wall because it's too large. But I have hanging up 3 of them. I have Moon Man, the Bunny Mafia head, Emil, and then the Diablo head's on my stand-up organizer thingies. But this one's, it's gotta go up there because it takes up too much room. So yeah. I'll just put it back over there for now. Stay. And then I've been reworking on Nilo from Genshin Impact. It's pretty much done. I just have to do 2 little sewing stitches because I finally finished the horns and I redid the wig a little bit and it's all pretty. And then I was unhappy when I first made the shirt part. I felt like I was wearing baby clothes, like toddler clothes, because all of the sleeves like went to there and not to my actual wrist, and everything was just like for the arms they kind of shrank, and I didn't want to remake the whole outfit, so I cut off the sleeves, and then they're just gonna go to here, and I have like elastic to hold them because I don't really plan on wearing this costume besides like another 1 or 2 times. I like it, but it's gonna go away. So yeah, but I would like to do this weekend a transformation video with Nilo. So hopefully next week y'all will get a Nilo transformation one. I haven't done one in a while. So yeah, and then eventually a photo shoot, but we'll see with the weather. Everything is still, there's no snow anymore, thank goodness, but everything is, it looks dead. So, yeah. After have a great stream. Thanks for stopping by. If you do exclamation point music, it'll bring you to the station we're listening to. Yeah, it's a YouTube live playlist, and it's just all gaming music. Yep. So yeah. Otherwise, I've been busy doing a bunch of other stuff that I still can't really talk about. That was the big NDA, the Fallout head. But a few other things that maybe we'll talk about soon. But yeah, just finishing up some commissions, and the Frieren costume we'll be working on the staff a little bit today, masking things off for painting, and then we'll be masking things off for the shield from World of Warcraft. It's the, I don't remember what it's called. It's a commission for one of the Air Force guys. So, but yeah, a lot of masking for painting. That's the plan. That's the plan. I'm very ADD today. I apologize. I'm like so all over the place with everything. I've been working way too hard, but I'm hoping I can kind of relax while streaming. So, but let me also get tape since we need that. I just got a new pack because I ran out. And then, oh, the other update. I am still working on. I wanted to get it ready last week. I'm still trying to get streams on Twitch going again, but those will be only for gaming streams. YouTube will still be my one place for doing cosplay related stuff. So crafting and all my cosplay content will be here, where Twitch will just be playing games. Like we used to do in the old days, 2 years ago. Been a while. But it's messed up a bunch of my stuff, and my Stream Deck no longer works in here, and I couldn't fix it because my other Stream Deck, it kept trying to connect, and it's having tons of problems, and every time I touch the buttons, they like flipped the buttons, and yeah, it's been fun. So I gotta do everything manually, so it'll take me a little bit more for pressing buttons. But that's okay. We are doing this one now. So yeah. Oh, I can show you some of the other stuff. Sorry, I'm right by the mic, so I'm probably screaming. I've been doing paint samples. So if y'all know, I'm sponsored by Createx Colors, which is an airbrush paint company, and I'm testing out a bunch of new colors, so I'm really excited. Like, these are like my 2 favorite colors. These. This like mustardy color, and this one to me is not the jewelry company Tiffany, but me Tiffany blue. It like is kind of the color of my blue logo. So yeah, just some of the nice colors. Honeyfro, welcome on. I need to talk to you. Because I saw your thing, and I responded in my head to you on your YouTube comment about the breastplate stuff, but I did it in my head, and I never actually responded. So yeah, if you have Discord, I think you're on our Discord. I need to message you there, and we can talk more. So yeah, hope you're doing well. I'm very ADD today. Sorry. Yeah, here's the gold chrome. Endless silver, the quicksilver. And then just their normal colors. I really love painting. This was a lot of fun. I was like, all of the new colors, because I got the paint bottles and I had them and it's like, ooh, I think I know what the color is, but then when I paint it, sometimes it looks different because paint is always different from what it looks like in the bottle a lot of times. And I just like, the whole time was just happy dance. So yeah. That's all the colors. Okay, when that happens, yes, okay. I will try to message you. If not, ping me, please. Because I am, yes. Yeah, so far, I've done a bunch of stuff on the breastplates. I forgot to mention that. So we have 4 female breastplates, size small and size large, now available on my website. And those you can buy individually or in a bundle. And then we have, for male ones right now, we have a medium size. Same thing for individual and one as a bundle. And then I have somebody in line for doing large to help out with, because what I'm doing is I'm actually using, instead of just scaling up my patterns, I want to make sure that it fits that body type, specifically, so that size, especially when going into larger sizes, just because foam is very different than fabric when it comes to the body. So I want to make sure that they actually work. But the next one will be for large, and then I think I have a female medium in line, and then hopefully honey pro. So yeah, for other sizes. So just saw the weapons behind you on TikTok. They're just like, oh well, thank you. Yeah, everything in the background. Good. A bunch of things. But let's go ahead and work on the shield first. I need to move the staff. Yeah, this one pretty much is mostly purple. So we're gonna block off all of this area with masking tape, and then the next coat of paint will be the outer borders, and it's gonna be a slightly more lighter rosy purple, not too much, but slightly. And then after that, I'll do my shadowing in here. That'll all be masked off, and then all of these pieces are gold. And then there's, for this shield, there's 4 floating gems. So there's one that's actually in the center here, and then there's 2 on, oh my hands won't show, 2 on either side up here, and then at the very bottom, there's 1 down here. But this one's actually not going to be a functioning shield. This commission is specifically for a wall mount for Sergeant Nixon. So yeah, and commissions are not open, just so y'all are clear. So, but I'm excited. Something different. I've already got it planned where the back side, there's holes cut out of it, and then there's gonna be, I think they're over here. Yeah. I haven't cleaned them up yet. But because it's a wall mount, I don't want it to be permanently installed. I want you to be able to take it down. Same with the gems. So on the back, we have it where this piece will be inserted in here, and I'm not going to force it because I don't want it to be in all the way yet. And then there's this part, which then will insert after I clean it up. So basically it's designed where this part will be installed on the wall, and it already has the sockets for your screws, so you can put it in the wall, and then it's got this point and down here, so you can kind of level it up and down. So this will be mounted on the wall, and then this will be mounted to the shield, and then it can just slide and then lock in place to hold. And then for all of the gems, the center one is going to be permanently attached afterwards. I have clear acrylic rods, so I'll make holes and it'll be glued here. And then all the other ones, I didn't want to mount them to the shield just because it's a wall mount, so there's no point in you seeing like the attachments. So I'm having it where the gems are going to be mounted to the wall as well. So they'll have a piece that will go to the wall with 2 screw holes, and then the gem will just slide on and off afterwards. So that's kind of the plan for this one. What softwares do I use to design stuff? It just depends on the piece. I don't always use software. Sometimes I'll make a model using just paper and masking tape and stuff, and I'll get patterns through that. If I do any CAD work, normally I use Rhino 6, which is a 3D modeling program specifically for jewelry, because that's what my background was. And I'll get my 2D line work through there. Typically, I'll be able to kind of make my patterns in there. Very rarely, I'll put stuff into, what's the program called? I'm gonna butcher it. Pepicora. I don't like using it just because it doesn't work too well, but I'll use it to get a base mock-up of something that is like a complicated shape to lay out, and then I'll tape it together, and then I'll disassemble that and make a new pattern from it that I'll then remake my pattern for. So that's kind of where I go. Other programs I use are Adobe Illustrator, but I like Rhino more because I have the snapping feature for doing a lot of my line work. And then I also will use Nomen Sculpt. But that's more of for 3D modeling things that I'm going to print, not necessarily for making patterns. But yeah, now we're gonna mask these off. I was hoping to get the shield done a lot sooner, but things just kept getting in the way. And it wasn't a rush on the commission, so it kind of, when I got some of the other ones, it was like, hey, are you okay with me pushing it back a little? And they're like, yeah. Because it's a pretty straightforward build, this one. But ideally with Frieren, I want to get that done this weekend as well. I only have finished painting the staff, which it's just the red that I have left to do. And then, let me move that. I'm gonna lighten it a tiny bit too. Oh no, I guess it's fine. But, and then, what else do I have with Frieren? Oh, the ears, I'm making the ears from scratch out of foam because none of the ears, like traditional ears that you can find, none of them look correct in my opinion. They're too small and they don't go out. She has out ears, not back ears. And that one I just need to finish painting and then attaching it to the headband. And then the wig is the only other thing. So yeah, getting close. It should have been done by now, but life happens. Appreciate them that you do have some very brief experience with it. Yeah. Yeah, it was one that when I used to work at the jewelry company, when I was a designer, we only used Rhino and then we used a ZBrush. But ZBrush is a little expensive, so I did not personally buy it. And then some of the other employees use SolidWorks, but I never got into it. I've dappered with Blender, but I'd rather stay with what I know. I do not recommend Rhino for people that are wanting to learn CAD, as it's expensive. For the best words to say. And if you are gonna get it, they do discounts for students, or at least they did. That's how I got it many years ago. I'm just using Scotch brand masking tape, but what I do is I'll put it on my pants first and it helps reduce the stickiness, but you need it to still be like the good kind. Otherwise, if you're using painter's tape, it's just gonna come off, and none of them are strong enough, so it kind of reduces it just ever so slightly. Hi Colin, happy Friday! I'm not sure if it's just me, but the music seems way loud compared to your voice. I will turn it down some. Is that any better? Lemon Frieren, you mind showing the stuff? We'll get to it in a bit. I plan on masking off some stuff for it later. But yeah, I'm behind on watching it still. It's one of those where I really enjoy it, but it's one of those that I want to digest. And most animes, when I watch them, I use it as like a background noise, and I kind of watch it, but that one I'm like hardcore watching it, and I want to be in the correct mindset. So it's a slow watch for me, watching all of it, but I really love it. Not the best piece, actually. Taping off is your least favorite thing about painting? Yeah. Sometimes it's okay. A lot of times I'll put on a show. Like, I was like, what can I do? I want to stream, but I don't really have anything. And it's like, oh, I have taping. Taping is a forever thing. That's perfect. We're almost at the season, like that time of the year where I can start doing like actual work in my studio and not having to do everything in the extra room downstairs. So I'll be able to continue doing some gluing. I always find when I tape stuff off, tweezers are like my best friends too. So I'm gonna bring that down more. Maybe I can see a little bit more. Ish. Or just go to YouTube. That's where I'm really streaming. You have a much better view there. Mage Runner Ellery, so yeah. Game-wise, I did finish Enshrouded. Really loved it. I didn't 100% just because it's not full release and I didn't really feel like doing all of it just because I'm going to replay it when it is done. But really enjoyed that. I've gotten back into my mini motorways game. It's just one of those where I can zone out because I've been stressed a lot lately. So it's been a nice relaxer. What's the other one? I think it's like, it's an annoying game, but it was something that I wanted to just easily do. I think it's like No Place Like Home or something like that. And it's like, clean up the environment and things. Like, I don't really care, but it's a kind of relaxing, repetitive job for when I have really high anxiety. And so it's been nice to just kind of sit there and zone out, but I literally just finished it before the stream. So yeah. That's better. You have a topic you are curious about. What are your thoughts about remaking costume 1, 2, or 3 times to master costume, making it even better every single time? I've seen people that do that. I applaud them for that. I cannot do that because I am too ADD. I'll say Milo is probably one of the only costumes I have gone back and worked on, but that's because I was extremely unhappy, and also the horn shattered before I got like an actual photo shoot done with it because of flying and the luggage like flying. I had a bunch of stuff break on that trip. It was really bad. So yeah, that's the only one that I've kind of gone back to. I think it's cool to relearn things, but I don't have the attention span to keep going back to the same project personally. For me, kind of how I do it though, is if you look at my Mercy cosplays from Overwatch, I've done 4 now. They're all basically all the same costume. But because of how much I've looked at the designs, I can see the designers of each skin where they actually copied certain parts from another skin to that one. So it's kind of like I am making it different but better in a way, in different techniques. I kind of see it that way for me personally, but I don't think anything's wrong with redoing things. If you are doing it for a competition though, there are rules on that at a lot of competitions, so you'll have to kind of look to see, because some of them you can't, if you have won in it and then you're redoing it to try to win something else, sometimes that's frowned upon, or you have to do a certain percent that is different, if that makes sense. I hope that answered. You have ADD, so this works great as a body doubling. I have like ADHD, and sometimes I cannot function. Today, it took me a long time to start the stream because I could not focus whatsoever. But I did have a business meeting this morning, so I at least got that. But some days it's a no. I just sit there like. After I finished the Fallout mask, I literally was like, okay, I can work on other things again. And I had one day where literally I would just go and sit in each room for like 30 minutes and zone out, and I was just like, what am I doing? It was really bad. So yeah, some days are good, some days are not. I don't feel like this month, I don't feel like they have been as good with like me being able to focus, unfortunately. But sometimes the hyper fixating helps though, especially with gaming. But I'll get fixated on something and then I can work for hours and hours and hours. But then some days I can't do it. So I always try to do. I have like a to-do list I put on the fridge every day, and feel accomplished when I can remove things, and sometimes I'll have like a task going. So painting is good days, because then I can paint something downstairs, and while it's drying I come back upstairs and I'll do another task, and then I work on a timer. Timers are really helpful for me, so I can keep focus on something, and that keeps me kind of rolling into the next project, and I find that to help a lot for me personally. But sometimes it doesn't matter. I just can't do anything. Especially when it comes to editing my tutorials. Those days, I cannot focus a lot of times. Kind of how you're playing RuneScape felt for you. Just focusing on repetitive tasks and things. Yeah. Ooh, what was the There was a really, really good game I played, and it looks like Minecraft, but it's not Minecraft, and it was a demo when they were doing on Steam their demo days. It's not like The Village, I don't know, it was so good though. And as a demo, I was like, okay, it's probably gonna be like an hour or so. I got 15 hours into it. And it had, I think, 6 maps in total. And there you do these tasks on each map to turn in things and upgrade your critter and this and that. But it's not like Minecraft where you build a house, but they do have sandbox modes. And because it's not finished, I was able to break the game and like, cause you get certain weapons that you could like just basically destroy walls and things. And so the areas that were locked off, like there was a door and it was like, oh, you don't have the key for this because they haven't finished that area. I just destroyed the wall next to it and would go in. It was cool because they'd have like these skyscrapers, Minecraft skyscrapers. And they'd have like notes in the room, so like a floating number of this is what this room's supposed to be, but there's no walls, or there'll be like an empty floor with just walls, and some of them still had like a quest at the very top from somebody, but you couldn't like finish it technically. It was pretty cool though, just to see how they're going to make it, and I really enjoyed it because it was kind of set up where each map you start over kind of, but it's you have to do certain missions and tasks to get these orbs, so that way you can put the orbs on the portal, and you had to have all 4 so you could then teleport to the next level. And they had all these like pig people that you had to kill, and you had guns and you had melee weapons and things like that, and then they had dungeons as well, which was really cool, and like slime monsters, and I really enjoyed it. I was so sad when it was done, and I like for a week was just like constantly checking Steam for updates, even though it was a demo that like just came out. Yeah. I don't remember the name though. Somebody may remember it. I'm gonna get a sip of my Dr. Pepper. Cheers guys, and thank you for watching. And if you're on Instagram or TikTok, I'm actually live streaming on youtube.com/TiffanyGordonCosplay, and that is where I'm reading chat and answering questions. Thanks for stopping by, Marco. Have a wonderful day. Okay, continuing. In terms of anime is what I've been watching lately. Frieren, not finished though. And then Solo Leveling, really enjoying that. It's been really good. I know there's a lot of people that like the first episode or so, not spoils, were like, oh, this is gonna be the next Attack on Titans, and then it slowly kept going, and then people were like questioning things, and it's like, but it's still so good. So I really like that. And then I just started another one. I'm up to date on it, and it's about a deaf lady, a sign language lady anime, and it's been really cute. It's more of a girly one. Yeah. What else? I finished pretty much all the other ones I was watching. Like Spy Family. That was like the other active one that was still releasing stuff. The one on Netflix about cooking. I liked it a lot, but I kind of just stopped watching it, unfortunately. I'll probably go back to it again, but it just, I don't know. come back to that section of it. Let's see if we can get in here. Oh, for my Thai and Korean shows that I watch all the time. Because I go to sleep watching them. Korean shows, or a K-drama, I'm doing Capturing the King right now. So good. And that one's about a girl who's really good at playing. I have no idea what the game is called, but it's not chess or checkers. It's like a game that's over in Korea and Japan, and it's the two color stones, and it's about basically capturing the stones and then you remove them. No idea what it's called though, but I've really been enjoying that one. And she's been dressing up, this is like way back in the day, and she's dressing up as a guy so she can go and basically save money to help some of the other concubines and everything. And then slowly, like, it deals with the king and things like that. But it's been really, really good, and I'm waiting for more episodes. But that's been on Netflix. And then another one that just came out is a Thai one I've been watching. It's really funny. It's Go? Okay, thank you. I think that one's Ready, Set, Love or something. And it's basically set up where there's only 0.1% of the population is male and the rest is female. And all of the males basically live on, it's called The Farm. It is not a serious show. It's like stupid, funny, super bright colors, like 70s kind of style. And each year there's kind of what? Okay. Apparently my age restriction is bad. Whatever. And basically it's like a game show where the girls do like a lottery ticket to see if they can date the men, and then they choose like 100 of them, and then they go on a game show so that way they can kind of date them, and it's pretty funny. I've really been enjoying it. So. Alright. Continuing onward. We'll do this side. Be easier. Easier to do. But yeah, this piece should only have 3 more coats of paint on it. And then the stones I'll have to paint as well. But it should hopefully be done fairly soon, which I'm happy about. Yeah, anybody else have any news? Besides Happy Friday? Really pretty weather outside. Oh, I did earlier this week go location scouting for a new photo shoot spot. And I think I finally found the spot for shooting Lilith, because I haven't actually done a photo shoot yet. And there is a castle that is here, and I wouldn't visit it, and I was afraid it was like, they have like this whole thing for renting it to do photos and this and that, but it's only for the inside, and I don't want the inside. So, and they said like on the grounds is pretty much free as long as you do a donation. So I'm hoping to do that. I'm hoping soon, but we'll see, just because my timeline's always off right now. So yeah. Okay. Hardest spot is on the sides, just why the back of the tweezers really help. Let's go in there. The tape ASMR like sounds for some reason. Does it actually pick up on the tape sounds? And I'm glad you're liking it. Taping is such an important step when it comes to painting. Yeah? Awesome. It's like, I'll pull it to the microphone. The stuff will be a little different with how we tape it because I'm going to use paper as well. I try to, for spots, use paper more for larger areas because it's least likely to have the paint come off then, where most of the time how I do my taping, by putting it on my pant leg first before putting it on the surface, it makes it where it won't peel off the plasti dip or the paint. Also, I never apply tape directly to plasti dip. I only apply it to areas that have been painted already, so it doesn't peel off. Oh, I didn't get close on that at all. But yeah, the paper just kind of helps. Never used plasti dip before. It feels like it would be easy to mess up. Not really. Plastic is pretty nice. So I use it as a primer for my foam. It also makes it so it's a rubber spray paint, and it causes the structure of your foam to be stronger, in my opinion. Especially for, like, if you have a piece that's going to bend, it's gonna come back easier, and it's less likely for it to get seams in it from bending, and the paint surface just looks more realistic. If you were to paint, I actually did some samples on it. Let's see. I've been doing a lot of paint samples lately, and these are all purposely bent. But this is just paint on foam. And then, which one's my other one? So this one's with Plasti Dip. But you can use a heat gun and all of that will come out. But to see the difference in the surface, this one just looks dull, like it's kind of hard to see on camera. This one looks smooth. It looks more realistic, where this one looks like you're painting on paper. And I don't personally like that look. It feels, to me, it makes a lot of things look cheaper for cosplay. Where if you use Plasti Dip, it makes your costume look more expensive in general. But that's sometimes, I got green paint on me. Green flakes. But it does depend on what look you're going for as well. But Plasti Dip tends to help a lot of times, especially if you're traveling a lot. But I know some people don't like to use it just because it is something that has to be sprayed onto the surface, and you do have to use a respirator, and some people like to use the Mod Podge or some of the other stuff. Always Plasti Dip. I don't use the liquid latex. So the Plasti Dip is always my primer for foam. So heat treating the foam causes your foam in general is like this. It's very porous when you heat treat. It's going to close it up mostly. When you do Plasti Dip on top, it closes the surface even more because it's a rubber spray paint you're putting on top of it. And I do 3 coats. I like to use the color gray just because it's a good neutral for painting, where if you use like their white or their black, you have to drastically go from one to the other color for different ones. So gray is a nice even balance between them. And then I paint with airbrush paint after that. But beforehand, before I did airbrush painting, I still preferred to do Plasti Dip, and then I would use the acrylic paints, the liquid latex paints, and I would paint that by hand. But that's my preferred methods, and it also, there's different costs for things too. In the end, for how much I craft, and this is my full-time job, excuse me, airbrush painting after everything is done with the investment and all the paints and stuff, it actually is cheaper in the long run. It's just a much more expensive investment up front just because you have to invest in airbrush guns, you have to get the cleaners, your paints, and then the compressor as well, and that's all a lot of cost up front. But once you get all of that, your paint actually goes so much farther than painting by hand with acrylic paint. For you to get like the deep colors here, sometimes you'll have to do 2 to 3 coats with acrylic paint, and then it makes it thick and will chip off. Where airbrush paint, this is just 1 coat, just all through. And this one, these top layers I didn't worry about because they're not going to be that color. But I only used like a tiny bit of paint for the whole thing. But it is a big investment up front. And and it's one that has a high learning curve. But once you get it, you're golden. Yeah, I got into airbrush painting, I don't know the year, but I won a cosplay competition, and the prize was an airbrush starter kit. And I always recommend that. Don't spend tons of money on airbrush stuff when you're first getting started. Try get a kit online that has a base compressor, it comes with the hose, and it comes with typically like 3 different guns, so you can figure out which type of gun you like the most, because everybody has different preferences. And then learn how to clean them and what not to do with them before you invest in your more expensive professional equipment, because I ruined quite a bit of airbrush guns when I first started. So yeah, save money, get the cheap stuff first, and then once you kind of figure it out, invest in the more expensive stuff. But the better paints, so like Createx Colors is my favorite paints, and I say that even if I wasn't sponsored by them. I love their paint just because the colors are so vibrant, and you get so much better quality out of them, where they are a little bit more expensive than your generic airbrush paint, but better paint will apply better onto your surface and will go through not as nice guns. Where if you have not as good paint, it may have more difficulty going through not as nice guns, but through your more expensive guns like Iwata and things like that, it should be fine. But that's my preferences. So. Didn't know they made gray. I feel like that really wouldn't work, or that really would work better. You wanted to get into airbrushing, but because of the prices, it's been a big, yeah. I would recommend, so I have, if you do Amazon, !Amazon, in the chat, it should bring you to my Amazon store page, and I have a airbrush kit on there, I believe, that I recommend. I started off with the Masters one, and the basic kit, at the time when I purchased it, I haven't looked at the prices right now, but I think it was like 120 roundabout to start off, and that also came with some generic paint to try. It was a really good starting price, but don't use it as like your main one that you're gonna live with for life. Use it as a starting place. And I typically, for like tools and equipment, when I was younger, I would ask for like birthday presents, or for Christmas, I'd ask for a tool. I never asked for toys or things like that. So that's kind of how I slowly got into tooling, and then I slowly upgraded. And it's only been 20 years of upgrading, so. But yeah, Plastic, I think it's Lowe's that I get mine at that has the gray color. I don't think Home Depot has the gray, if you're looking at hardware stores. And for Plastic specifically, at least in my area, it is cheaper to buy at the hardware store rather than buying through Amazon or online. But it has gone up in price quite a bit, unfortunately. It's now, I want to say it's like $8 a can, where it used to be like $5, like back in the day. But it, especially since last year, it's gone up. So that's the only drawback. I do recommend with Plastic too, I do 3 coats. So you apply 1 coat, and then you wait for it to dry at least 45 minutes to an hour. Then do another coat. Again, wait for it to dry, and then do do a last coat, and then you want to wait 24 hours before doing any actual painting on the surface. And then also with Plasti Dip, it needs to be 70 degrees Fahrenheit for it to actually work properly. So one downfall, or like another downfall, if you're in a colder climate area. Texas, I had no problems. Nebraska, I have problems. So I have a whole room designated to painting now, just because of that. Yep, paint mixing, definitely an art. I love it. I always eyeball things when I paint mix. I don't ever mix in a cup and then do my colors. I will do, I mix in the actual airbrush cup, not in a separate cup, I guess I should say. But I've never been a big formula person. And also with airbrush painting, it's such a fine balance with, it's one of those where if you know the rules of painting, you can throw a lot of that out the door with airbrush painting, because airbrush painting is all about painting in layers, and depending on how thick of a layer you apply will depend on how dark that color will go. And for doing like gradients and things, you don't actually have to mix the paint together. You just have to slowly, like, you start close and then you go farther away with the gun, and the mist will spread out, and it's then your eyes that's actually doing the mixing of the colors and not the actual physical mixture of the paint, which is really cool. And then also, if you want, like, specifically with metallics and stuff, typically you're taught in art school, you want to do like a black as a base coat, but you don't have to do that with airbrush paint. I mean, you can, but it's going to give you different colors. So if you want like these are all silver as a base, a metallic silver, and depending on what your undercolor is will depend on the color of the top. So if you have a white base coat versus a black base coat, the airbrush color on top will look different. One will be lighter, one will be darker, and most times. So yeah, it's pretty cool. I've done so many samples with all my paint samples as well. I have a whole bunch of all of the same colors, some that are black base, some that are white base, just to show the differences. And it's kind of wild how some just don't even look like the same color whatsoever. Just wanted to jump in and say I really like your stuff. The Wrath outfit is by far her favorite. Aw, well, thank you so much, Trucos, and welcome on. I appreciate your comment. I'm hoping, so I have done one other Monster Hunter cosplay, like a long time ago, and I'm hoping to bring it out of the closet and do a transformation video of it, because I wore it once and I didn't get any pictures in it. It's not that great, but I do still really like it, and maybe the lights will still work, but the whole thing lit up because I used, at the time, nobody really knew what it was, but they were fiber optics I used, so the whole headdress and skirts and things lit up, and it's pretty cool. So I'm hoping to get that out and do a transformation video of it, because I've gotten tons of requests for more Monster Hunter stuff, and there's not a Monster Hunter cosplay on my list right now. So hopefully that will make some people happy to see it again. From back in my day when I played Monster Hunter World. The the Baroth one was specifically when I was playing, was it Monster Not Real? Or something like that. You just made your first cosplay from scratch the other day. Always really respect cosplayers and the work and time they put into it. What was your first cosplay? And are you part of our Discord? Because I have not seen it on Discord. Or have I? I'm not sure. If so, put it on Discord. Exclamation point Discord. Yes. I always love to see everybody's work. We're getting close to this being taped. Like, finished off. So yeah. No grand blue ones. I actually don't really like doing cosplays that are popular. Personally, when they become popular, I tend to be disinterested. Which I love Frieren, but maybe seeing a bunch of other people doing it now is kind of like, it's been done, whatever. But I'm going to finish it. The goal is to finish it like this weekend or in the next week, hopefully. But I've had a lot of other projects. So it just has not been finished when it should have only taken me a week. I really have only worked on it, I think, in total of 5 days, the Frieren costume. But it's been 5 days out of 2 months. So yeah, it's... I want it to be done. I have so many others on the list. The Nasaka one? Cannot pronounce it, from Studio Ghibli. The blue dress is almost done. I have to add details. And then I actually have all the sword pieces cut out for a dagger. So that one is ready to start assembling too. I have it actually in a bag over there. We could have glued that today. I forgot about that. But yeah, that's the next cosplay build. And then this needs to be finished. I have another commission for a company that I need to make. It'll be a really quick one. And then the next projects are gonna be from Genshin. I want to make is it the Wanderer or the Warrior? I'm confusing my W's. I think it's the Wanderer. His hat with the 2 fabric pieces that come in the back. That'll be the next Genshin side mini build, and then we will start the Soul Calibur Nightmare Sword, I think. The giant 7-foot tall monster sword, because that one I plan on doing live painting at a convention. I'm going to be at Monsterpalooza in California, and I'll have a booth, and the plan is to have it fully made and paint it live there. So that's kind of the goal, but I have to finish making it first. And then the next other cosplay builds will be the Warrior from Final Fantasy, I believe what is. Yeah. And then, because I want to do a male armor, so I won't be wearing that one. And then I've got, at the end of the year, because I really needed a break from big builds, so I decided to push it back, but it's Seth from Trinity Blood, which I'm excited because it'll be my 4th cosplay from Trinity Blood. Those were like my original cosplays I made back in 2008, and I'm excited to see my skill level from then until now, when back in the day all you had for making things, you didn't have foam, you didn't have Wardla, you had Sculpey, which was basically this clay that you would make the shapes you want, and then you would put it in the oven and bake, and you would glue those pieces after you painted it onto your costume. So I think my skill levels has gone up tiny bit, maybe. I'll let y'all decide that. But I'm excited to do it, and I plan on doing the Thor art book version. So super bodily, like, details. So yeah, it should be fun. But those are what I have planned right now. For sure, there's gonna be other stuff. Maybe something will come off the list, but those are kind of like what I plan this year. And then I'm heavily focusing on patterns this year. So I'm doing the full line of breastplate patterns in all sizes. So it's not going to be a generic, this is one breastplate pattern for male and one for female, and then you can scale it to whatever size. They're not going to be that. They're already going to be scaled to your size. So the plan is, and I've already have a few different sizes for both male and female, but doing sizes small to either extra large or double extra large. It just depends on if I can find somebody of that body size. And we've got it. we're getting through it. So yeah, I've got 2 already for female done, and that is the small and large size. I have somebody most likely in line for being the model and everything for medium, and hopefully for extra large. So we will see on that. And then for male, I have somebody in line for large. That one, all of my guy friends though are in the Air Force, so I kind of have to work around their schedule of when they're deployed or not. So those will hopefully come soon, but I can't really plan those out unless they are actively home. So yeah. But that's the plan, is having tons of different ones for the year. So yeah, hopefully y'all will like that, and you don't have to scale things. You just get the one that's closest to your size, and then you can do slight adjustments instead of major adjustments. Yeah. Monster Hunter Wilds. Yeah. I know when they released their trailer, my videos, all my Monster Hunter stuff got tons of views again. You're in the process of working on a cosplay for the end of March, and your videos have been super helpful. CT painting class got canceled, but yeah, I'm sorry. So I actually did not announce it. I was supposed to be doing an airbrush class at the end of this month in Florida, but they pulled it after, it wasn't even up for like a week, but they pulled most of their classes. There was a bunch of stuff, business stuff, nothing on my end or whatever, but unfortunately they did have to cancel it, and we didn't have anybody sign up at that point, so I just didn't make an announcement. I just took all my stuff down. But yeah, unfortunate, but I'm hoping we'll do something in the future, or just do some more tutorials online. There is some stuff in the process, but I can't talk about it. Yeah, so stay tuned for that. But yeah, I'm glad you're finding the videos helpful. Which videos are you finding the most helpful, if you don't mind me asking, Fearless? Popular as far as showing up in the YouTube algorithm and getting exposure, but that's good that it isn't what you're, yeah. No, there's lots of things that I can do. Like, some stuff I may do if I've already made something. I'll put it in the algorithm kind of thing of like, oh, it's popular, I have a Monster Hunter thing. Well, I guess I'll kind of put it up there, but honestly, I'm too old to care. I don't like dressing up. I like making things, and when I do get dressed in my costume, I'm just like, okay, I'm in it, I'm done, let's go to the next one. We got 5 pics, I got 1 video, we're good. And then afterwards I'm like, darn it, I should have done more. No, but I'm just, I've never been, like, it's hard for me to film myself and to do things like that. It really is. As much as people think I'm super outgoing and things, no, I don't leave the house sometimes for like 2 to 3 weeks at a time. Like, I go out my front porch and get my mail, and then I stay inside. This is me socializing. So yeah, especially when like I'm home by myself for a month or two, because my spouse is deployed, and all I have is Yuki to talk to. And then occasionally my friend Kendra, she'll be like, hey, come out. I'm like, oh, okay. And I'm really bad at texting and replying to people, and I'm trying really hard to do like better at it. I get the anxiety really bad. So yeah. Yeah, so it's Genshin, the Wanderer or whatever. It's one of the male characters with blue hair. So yeah. Gotta keep doing more Genshin stuff since I'm with them. So. Oh, thank you. Appreciate it. It's quite a bit faded, but I can't be bothered to color it again. Next time I color, I'm not gonna do the roots. I'm gonna let it just, I want the ends to get a little better, but my hair's kind of a floof right now. Since I've been painting a lot, I've been having to wash it a lot more because I don't like going to bed with chemicals in my hair. Can't wait to see the updated Trinity Blood costume. Yeah, I already have all the fabric and everything. Everything is already there. I've already made all of the patterns because I was supposed to make this for something else, and that something else I can't talk about because of NDA stuff, but it was supposed to be made already, and that thing got canceled after contracts, which is terrible. Contracts do not protect you sometimes, and that kind of frustrated me and also wanted me to push things back. So that's why we're not making it right now. We're pushing it back. But I still want to make it because I love it. And it was one of the cosplays. It was like a dream cosplay of mine, and I completely forgot about it. But it's like, you know, let's do this. But it's going to be a big build that's going to take a few months to make, and it's gonna be, I have to make it so I can transport it to other places. So, and she's got that huge bird cage kind of thing around her, and I want to make it where all of that comes apart and fits in a suitcase. And it's gonna involve, I already have it in my head of doing basically models of each piece, so I'll 3D model each of the piece, and then I'll make molds of them, and then from those molds I'll cast them into a lighter weight material and have all the bone structure and everything. It's already in my head of how I'm gonna make it. I already know all the stuff. I already have like half the materials for all that. I just am waiting. So yeah, I'm excited. General foam construction videos are really useful. This is your first time working with it, and just seeing how it comes together is important. Ah, okay. Cool. Yeah, I've focused for videos, so right now I am trying to get all of the breastplate stuff done for videos. So each size breastplate is going to have an individual tutorial. So the 4-pack. So size small is gonna have a video for one video that'll contain all 4 of how to make those patterns to help you, whether you need the pattern, whether you need the tutorial or not, because I don't necessarily think you need to watch a tutorial to put the patterns together, but I think it may help people. So that's gonna be at least, what is it, small, medium, large, extra large, double extra large. So that'll be 10 separate videos, but I'm gonna spice them out hopefully where it's only one a month, if not one every other month. Patterns will be available before that, but the tutorials will go out longer. And then I have like a whole list of tutorials that I want to make. One on how to do, so like, I can't show you because they're taped up, but how to connect these 2 pieces together with just a pipe and foam, and then how to make it with a threaded system instead, So connecting, disassembling large props. I want to do a generic one on foam, specifically the foam that I'm using. And things like that. So yeah. But hopefully I'll get some more done. If you have any suggestions, we do exclamation point Discord. We have an open Discord to the community, and there is a section on there that is suggestions or feedbacks or something like that. And feel free, if you have specific tutorials that you don't see on my channel, for like generic things, you can add some stuff there. Yeah, a lot of my just everyday tutorials go over a bunch of foam stuff as well. I swear I heard her, but maybe not. Oh, that reminds me. Yuki turns 1 year old on Sunday. My little demon kitty. So yeah, she's still terrible, but I still love her. I finally upgraded my chair, and this is my gaming chair. So my other chair I got rid of because it was falling apart. It was totally ripped, and like I had coverings on it, and it's all falling apart. But this one's not very old. But she's already like shredded up here. I don't know if you can actually see it or not, but there's so many rips. All of this is coming out. And so now the chairs live with blankets on it, so she won't be a demon cat and sit on it and be like, scratch, 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 looking at me like, ha ha ha. She's really bad with that right now. And she does it on purpose. Yeah. Alright. I think that's good there. I know we still have that bowl. Hopefully that's not triggering y'all. There's just a few side parts I gotta do, and then we will be done with this part. And then we'll start masking off the Frieren stuff. Also, a big thank you for watching. Remember to like the video, and if you are new to the community, we would love to have you. So subscribe to the channel. Subscribing is free on YouTube. If you'd like to show some extra support financially, as this is my full-time job, you can always join and become a member, and you get early access to like tutorials and things like that. And I appreciate the support. But no pressure. So, and if you're on Instagram or TikTok or whichever one it is, I'm streaming on youtube.com/TiffanyCosplay, and that is where I am reading chat and answering questions. So go over there. Yeah. Good. Okay, I believe this is the last spot. So we will cover that to stop triggering people. This is all foam. Yeah, I can 3D model and print things, but I typically don't do it too much unless it's like jewelry things or if I'm trying to learn new skills and stuff. I prefer to work with foam personally, but nothing wrong with either of them. Okay, we are done skis with masking this off. I take that back. There's one more spot. I missed a spot. Nice. Need to enlist anime lovers from your local high school or I am a little old to hang out with to just try to seek high schoolers. That might look a little weird. Nothing wrong with high schoolers. I'm 31 and it might be a little weird asking for help from It's more like I go to my local bars and I find friends. But, yeah. Now, if I was still in Texas, I would have all of my patterns done for different sizes. But I've only been here a little over a year in Nebraska. So it's a little different, and I don't want to just go out and... I want to be friends with people first and not just have random people show up to my house. Just me. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Here you go. There. Oh, it's toasty in here now too. Yeah, I'm not weird to get involved with the community, but when there's that much of an age gap, I don't really want to invite minors over to my house. That is, yeah, this is a little weird to me. Nothing wrong with being friends, but just because of the age gap, I don't want minors over. Yeah. Okay, so now I had some more water. We're going to tape off the gold parts of the staff. I do plan on doing a little bit more shading to this, but I want to cover this first. I'm going to try to avoid covering this part of the pipe. So when I made this, this is CPVC pipe with just foam, and it does have plastic dip on it. Typically on plastic parts that plastic dip is applied to, it is more easy for the plastic dip to come off of the surface with tape. So I try to avoid as much as possible applying the tape to what the plastic dipped parts on pipes are, if that makes sense. So the parts that I know that are foam, I want, like, that's fine with putting the tape on, but the parts that aren't, I'm more cautious of because I don't want it to come off. So we'll be using some paper to help with that. Let's see. We have to go around. Which thing made a beep? Oh, I have too many things up, and I don't know what made a beep. It's like I've got the two phones, the camera, this, and like, whatever. Whatever. I'm gonna trim this a little bit more. Sorry, let me keep that in frame. Yeah. But yeah, is anybody else working on a cosplay right now? I think we'll just do that, and then I will kind of roll it. currently planning out the next cosplay, which is Honey Fro. Are you still around? Are you still making? And if you are you still working on the Cinderella one? I think is what you were making last. Yeah, the stuff will be pretty easy to finish because the next color is the red gem. And so I'll paint that and then remove all the tape, and then I might do a few detail spots here and there. And then after that we'll be sealing it, and then I have the fabric piece to make. Touch-up paint on this part because I know the red color is a bit much. Oh, okay. Part is Dunsky's, so next is this one. And this one's the same thing where this one's the only part that the pipe shows. So I gotta do paper on that section, and then the red gem is in the center. So probably what's best, and I want to avoid these two because those are bad foam. But I want to do the tape around here. This needs to be under, and then we can wrap this part, I think, with paper. Kind of hold off on the tape some. So, ease. Let me get some paper. Thanks. So that's actually really easy to make. Just a bunch of simple pieces cut out and then stacked. Like this part, I believe it was 4 pieces of 10 mil foam. And then just cut straight and down, glue it, and then you carve it with a blade and sand. I had some people, when I did my little video of it, they were like saying how they were saying stuff on, because I used a laser cutter to cut it out, but it's like, you don't need a laser cutter to cut it out. I just have have it because I've already made the lines, and it makes things so much simpler for me to just have it mass like cut a lot quicker while I'm doing other projects. But you don't need one at all. It doesn't make it where you can't make the piece without one. So. Yeah, feel free to share pictures in the Discord. Gonna mask up all parts. Otherwise, the color that I'm gonna be using is Cratex's Candy Line, and the mist from that makes everything super red, so it's like every single spot has to be covered or it's going to be covered. Take a while to finish the project. Yeah. I feel like my Frieren costume is gonna be kind of similar to my Megamine costume. Just a little bit more clean, I think, but they're both pretty silly characters. It's always nice to have some sewing projects versus doing the big armor builds and stuff in between and take a break from it. Okay, more paper. Get a few sheets this time. And thanks guys for watching. Hope y'all are enjoying the stream today. Remember, you're like, what are you working on? Because you won't be able to see it anymore. Saw a clip of an anime. It's a really good anime. It's a new one. And basically, she's an elf. And elves live compared to humans a very, very, very long time, like 1,000 or plus years. I don't really remember, but in general, it shows you her life of going through the stages, kind of thing, and it's a slice of life. Really good, yeah. I actually am very similar to her, in my opinion, just because she's serious, and she's very, how she thinks is very, rational, not emotional, and I don't typically think emotionally when I make decisions, which some people really don't like. I'm getting very tired. Taping is having its tools in. I'm like starting to think, what do I want for dinner? Like I might be a bum since it's Friday and see about going out and getting food. Some days I like to go out. Odd times I don't, but I kind of want to go out. Ish. What are y'all's plans for dinner? Or if you've already eaten because of time zone. Pizza? Did end up having pizza this week. I don't typically eat it just because dairy, like cheeses and stuff, give me problems. But it was you get a freebie pizza, and it ended up taking like an hour and a half, and we had to complain because it said it was delivered, but it wasn't, and then we didn't get it for another like 30 minutes. So yeah. Masking can be teased. Oh, yes. Very much so. Typically, I'm watching something while I do this. Yeah. This is the only time that I listen to music is when I stream. Otherwise, I'm either watching Twitch, so watching games, or I'm watching a show. I watch a lot of anime when I tape things, typically. But it's like one of the most important steps. But we're almost done. We only have this part to cover, and then that's the last of our taping. Just ordered pizza for you and your daughter as long as she keeps her. Oh, no pineapple. Oh, gross. Not a fan. But it is Friday, so that means it's drinking day too. I'm trying not to. For the last few weeks, I've been drinking though, like every other day, just because of doing heavy projects, and I need to kind of relax a little bit at the end of the night. Nothing wrong with that. But now that I've kind of had them done and I've been settling back down, I've been trying to do only drinking during the weekend. And it's weekend. So yeah. Question about ordering: if you're priming something with LED foam, do you prime paint everything but LEDs first? So are you talking about the white transparent foam? Is that what you're talking about? Because that you do not want to prime. If you prime it, well, I take that back. It depends on what you're using. Definitely don't want to use Plasti Dip because they are rubber spray paint that's typically dark. They do have a clear one now, but I have not tried it yet, so I can't fully say. But whatever you put on top of it, so if you are gonna use like the liquid latex or the Hodgepodge or some clear primer, whatever you're using, I would do a test of it first and see how transparent it is, because anything, even if it's clear that you're putting on top of it, is slightly going to make it not as transparent. But it may also help with pushing your light farther around. It'll just depend. But you would want to mask off that section though if you're doing a different type of primer. But it's a hard one. I typically don't like that foam, just because I don't like how glue dries on it. I call it piss foam, because when glue dries on it, it dries yellow, and if you're using white lights and you have glue line over the white lights, it glows yellow, from personal experiences. So yeah. Been watching a lot of Helldivers 2 game that is super. I don't like it. I don't like that game. I tried. I watched it a lot. I watched others play it, and it was one of those where I was trying to decide if it would be something that I would like to play, because it's one of those, I like that type of game, and I'm just not interested in it. It's just a shooter. Like, you land somewhere, critters come, you shoot, go to the next place, land, shoot. Like, not my thing. I can understand why people like it, but not my thing. And I find it really hard to watch on Twitch personally. And that's like all of the streamers that I've been watching, they all play it right now, so I have not had stuff to watch on Twitch. If you think of, what was it, Starship Troopers? Now I know they had a game that was like exactly like it, but it's kind of similar, where you're like a bunch of people, you land on a planet, you kill a bunch of alien bugs, and then you go and like do your mission kind of thing. That's pretty much the gist of it. There may be some other stuff, but yeah. A mix of Halo and Starship Troopers together. Boom. Kill. Oh, wait. Ah! Sorry, I am like all messed up on my order of reading things. Coat it with Mod Podge. Okay. I think it should be fine, but I would recommend testing it first, just to make sure, because it may end up changing your glow effect. Gotcha, yeah. You see explosions, you pull out your credit card. Yeah. I mean, I like those games too. Just this one's it didn't get me. I am considering the new, is it Nightingale or something like that? That's the new survival game. It looks like a lot of fun. That, and it's, what is it multiplayer? Or co-op? So. But yeah, that one, Enshrouded though, was really, really good. But I finished that now. Oh yeah, with the Hell one, Helldivers or whatever, I did see some of the reviews on it for the microtransactions, but it's more of like a pay to, not a pay to win, but pay to get much better advantages, like to get the gear. sometimes you have to grind so much more just to get it. Where if you just paid, you'd have it right away, and then you didn't have to do the grind for like a month or something. I don't know. The review I watched, I like on YouTube, Is It Worth a Buy? Their channel. Start over. Okay, let me rewind everything. You missed the WoW shield. Yeah, we were working on that earlier. Hope all has been well for you at work, and no more craziness. Hopefully. It looks really cool, yeah. I tried watching a little bit of the gameplay when it came out, but I was a wee bit hungover. More than normal, and it was I could not watch whatsoever. So yeah, I haven't watched too much gameplay, so I'm hoping to find somebody else that's playing it again. Everybody has moved on to the next game already. And I think that one's only early access right now? Maybe? Multiplayer survival with a new twist in a few wild type environments. Okay. Work is nothing but craziness now. So, is it you now have more work because of everything? Isn't to pay to win because important things are the skills which everyone gets, and you get premium currency. Oh, okay. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Well, hopefully it'll get a little more easier soon. Maybe. We are almost done with this. Got a little bit on this side. One. That. Cool. I'm curious to see how he will explain it. Okay. What is your favorite type of glue to use in cosplay? You just started trying out contact cement, but it's not the most safe kind of glue. Contact cement glue is my favorite and is, in my opinion, the best for foam. You do have to use a respirator when using it, so that's correct. And you need your windows open. You want your critters out of the room. And for it to properly work, the temperature needs to be 65 degrees Fahrenheit or warmer. If it is colder than that, it will not bond correctly. So everything that I work on, I always use contact cement glue. I use the DAC one, which is this one. And to save some money, I'll typically buy a larger one. And then that larger one is cheaper than me buying a bunch of small ones. And when this one empties, I'll clean the brush in the top and then I'll pour it into here, the large one. And that saves a lot of money. But yeah, there is, obviously it is a chemical in the respirator and stuff. So you do want to be protective of that. But if you are having issues with it, with contact cement glue, you do have to apply it to both surfaces that you want to attach together. So if you're trying to attach like here, you apply it to this surface and this surface. You let them fully dry, and then when it's dry, you'll attach them together. And you want to use, when attaching, you don't want to try attaching them in mid-air because your seams are going to come all wonkadood. So it's best to start on the table, use the table as your flat surface, and not the same surface that you applied your glue on, because if the table has glue on it, it's not going to slide easily. So you'll glue, and then slowly use the table to the other side. And that should give you the best results in my opinion. If you can't use contact cement glue, you can technically use super glue for small attachments, but it's not that great. Other stuff you can use is Shore Bonder. They're hot glue. So they actually make specifically Cosplay hot glue, and this one, they have a bunch of different colors, but this is the only hot glue brand that I would recommend for foam. It does work, but it is not, you're not gonna have nice pretty seams. You're gonna see where the glue dries in between, and it can still come apart where contact cement glue won't. So that's another much friendlier option and safer option, but contact cement is the way that I do. Okay, I think we finished the circle. I'm gonna do a little bit more here, and then we just have the bottom section. And cheers guys, thank you for watching. You can use it in the house, but you don't want them in the room. So when the weather is warmer, so right now in Nebraska, it's not warm enough quite yet to glue inside. So I have a separate room downstairs that has a vent. It's where I do my painting. But normally I will do my gluing in here, and I have 2 windows. So what I do is I close my door to the room. My cat is not in the room at all. I have a little, it's like a cushion thingy for doors to help like keep a room warmer or whatever, but I put that there so that way none of the smell goes out as much as possible. I open both windows, the fan is on, and then I wear a respirator while gluing. I would say if you are actively gluing, just because the glue is dry does not mean the smell is not still in the room. You do want to wait probably at least 30 minutes to an hour after you're done before like coming in the room and stuff. If I'm doing a long day of gluing, I'll just leave the room and I leave the windows open and have it all vent out. But yeah, definitely no critters in the room. Because if you're wearing a respirator, your little fur baby probably needs one too. And I don't think they quite make those. At least not for my kitty's size. So. But you can also just go outside and use the glue there. I still would use a respirator though, because you're this close to gluing and you really don't want to have the chemicals. Too impatient to let it dry. So what I do with gluing is I don't glue one thing at a time. I make, so like the staff for Frieren, what I'm making now, I would cut out all of my parts, and then once they're all cut up, and then I would glue it all at once. So I have like an assembly line. So I start to glue everything, and by the time I'm done putting glue on all of my parts, whatever my first part was, typically that glue is dry. So then I can start assembling that, and by the time that's assembled, I can get the next part. And so it kind of helps a little bit. But yeah, if you're only doing one small piece, then it's a bit impatient. And a little tip with contact cement glue: heat treat your parts before you glue. A heat gun will actually reactivate your contact cement glue, and it will cause it to become liquid again. So the heat will cause it to come to reactivate. So if you have nice pretty seams that are sanded and then you do your heat treating, those will kind of wobble and then you'll slowly get a gap again. So do all of your heat treating before you assemble your pieces together with glue, and that'll make you have a lot nicer parts when you put them together. And then don't use a fan, don't use a hair dryer to try to make the glue dry faster, because when you're doing that, it's only drying the top layer, and glue, if you think of it, it's not a small thin layer. Like it is thin, but it's, when you're doing the fan and stuff, it's only curing the top part and it's not doing the underside. So potentially that's more wet. So you want to wait and let it naturally dry. Humidity also will affect your dry time too. So if it's really humid, then it'll take longer to dry. Yeah, I'll sometimes have a fan to help push air out the window too. In Texas, I did that because it would be really hot. Pull the draft out. And I'd recommend also, if it is hot where you live and the AC is blowing, close the vent in that room, so that way you're not ACing all of the room that has the windows open, because you can get a pretty high bill from that. Or just turn off the AC while you're working, but depends on, you know, how you're living. So just concerned that your pet still might be in danger even if it's in a, I don't think they should be, but if you are concerned, then don't do it. I don't want to endanger your critters, but this is what I do. So, like, my cat I typically won't let in the room for like an hour after gluing. But do what you feel is safe. I don't want to encourage you to do something and you feel bad about it or anything. Like, safety first. Doing this bottom section, trying not to stab myself. sand to dry, but it didn't work there. Yeah. And the thing with contact cement glue also is if you applied the glue the night before and you left the pieces out, the glue still works the next day. So if you want to do it where it's something and then you let the whole room air out all night or something, you can come back to it and the glue will still work. It's not like there's a time limit. Just if your room is really dusty, if there's any dust that falls on the glue overnight, then that dust is gonna be on it, or any cat hair kind of thing. And then same with, you want to avoid touching any of the glued parts, like the dried contact cement glue, because your fingers have oils on them, and that's actually going to cause the glue not to adhere as properly. Yuki's at the bottom of the door huffing glue. I mean... I could see her doing that because of how crazy she is. Oh, also, I said it earlier, but she's 1 year old on Sunday. A little crazy kitty. Okay, we are done with that. Yay! Cool, cool. We're done taping. Oh, I'll show you the shield real quick since you weren't here earlier, Wizard. But I gotta manually do this. But yeah, the shield from earlier that we finished taping from World of Warcraft. Yeet. Oh. She chews on my phone, and she likes to steal pencils and pens. Anything that's on the table, she'll pick up and just carry it in her mouth. And then sewing pins. She loves sewing pins. So all of my like tomatoes for sewing, they are all on the top. And then all of my heads that have wigs on it, I'll pin them in. But she'll like to come and steal the pins out of them and then walk away with them. And I'm just like screaming like she's trying to kill herself, and I'm so paranoid of that. So yeah, she's but a little demon. But yeah. Looks clean. Yeah, it's pretty clean. I do have to do a little bit of touch up on the moon though. It's separated a tiny bit, but otherwise, pretty cool. And all the gems, the last gem is on the printer right now. Those I am 3D printing just because they're all wall mounted. But yeah. So that's it for me today, guys. We taped off all of the Frieren staff so I can paint the last coat on it, and then the World of Warcraft shield. So yeah, I'll be finishing those up this weekend. Hoping to do a transformation video with the Nilo costume from Genshin Impact, and then hopefully finishing Frieren as well. So maybe starting some new stuff next week. So yeah, but thank you guys so much for watching. If you are new, love to have you as part of our community, so subscribe to the channel. If you are on Instagram or on TikTok, actually I was live streaming on youtube.com/TiffanyCosplay, and that was where I was reading chat and answering questions. So go over there on YouTube, it is free. So yeah, subscribe to the channel, like the video, really appreciate it. Have a wonderful weekend, everybody, and hopefully I'll stream next week, but it'll just depend on what I have around and the weather. If the weather is nice, then we can start working on cosplay stuff again. And not me doing it in my basement, because that's the only room I can do it. So yeah. But, bye guys!